Hello everyone, what's happening? This is Forgo, and today we're going to do some more Enchantress gameplay. Just show how strong this girl is. However, it is a real shame that the free-to-play players can't buy her. It does suck that we have to purchase items to be able to get the uniform. However, as long as they don't do this all the time, it wouldn't be so bad. But when they do things like what they did with Cable, with the giant full price for the uniform, it just really rubs you the wrong way and really puts some negativity on this patch. And that's a real shame because Enchantress is freaking awesome. This uniform really puts her over the top. This is one of the best upgrades I've ever seen at Marvel Future 5. She is absolutely ridiculous. Some of you are probably wondering why I have Old Mantis here. There's a reason for that. We're going to be using Old Mantis today because, one, I don't ever use her hardly at all except for maybe in Shadowland. And that's because of her passive. She gives an extra 20% critical damage increase by 20% to all allies and gives it a little extra ignore defense. Now, Enchantress pretty much already had max ignore defense, but she needed some critical damage. And this is going to be a pretty wild team up considering the clears that we're going to do with Enchantress today. So she has 23,000, almost 24,000 energy attack. She has 126 attack speed, 29 crit rate, really low critical rate. She has 195 critical damage, and remember, if I didn't have Mantis on the team here, she would have 175 critical damage. She has max ignore defense, max skill cooldown. She does have 5-star energy attack Urus. I haven't put any other Urus in her other slots. I do want to take her to level 70. However, I'm still waiting for the potential to get increased, which really sucks, but I'm waiting for that before I decide to give her any more Urus. And man, she really is awesome. We've talked about her already. I mean, she's got this crazy 40% attack buff on this thing. All defense down that lasts for 6 seconds, stacks up to 40%. She has this thing here. She's got 1 second of mind control. It's a movable skill. Her third skill gives her damage accumulation based on how much damage she deals. She has the immunity. She has the all defense down that stacks up to 60% and lasts for 7 seconds. And normally I would say you need immunity to guard break, especially when characters just have immunity to all damage but nothing else. But because of her iframes, because she can move around the fourth skill, it's really not a necessity. You really don't need it. It's nice, but you don't need it. And then she still has this 4-second charm on a 5-second cooldown. So between the mind control and the charm, you can pretty much keep a character crowd control for the entire time. Enchantress just is insanely strong. I did upgrade this here. Now she has a stage 6 power bang Hawk set. So I put some energy attack Rouge on her. I gave her a stage 6 power bang Hawk set. And I changed her obelisk. Now she has a critical damage with a mind damage obelisk, and that's really good mind damage, 39%. Pretty good critical damage, 37%. These are actually some good stats. However, the proc is pretty low, 120%. But I thought, you know, for those of you that aren't going to slap a CTP of energy on her, that aren't going to slap a CTP of rage on her, because we all know rage is going to be numero uno. The CTP of judgment would actually be pretty freaking insane on her as well. But this actually will put in some serious work because of her crowd control, because she has a hidden heal in her kit, because of the damage that she can put out. Enchantress is insane. She is insane. In fact, if you built her up, she'd probably be one of your go-tos in World Boss if you wanted to play her there. She's just that strong. I have a normal ranked uni, and because she's a paywall, this will probably stay normal unless I buy a biosub subscription and start getting some bios to level her uniform up. Which, I love Enchantress, and I'm actually kind of tempted to do it. But I really don't want to give Netmarble any more money than what I already have. I'm actually pretty salty about buying the Cable uniform. Even though I am a content creator, in hindsight, I kind of wish I wouldn't have. Again, I'm glad I showed everybody the comparisons, but I wish I wouldn't have, to be perfectly honest, guys. I don't think you really need it, but it will come in useful in ABX, especially when I slap a rage on them, so maybe my opinion will change a little bit then, but I doubt it. I think that uniform is just way too overpriced. So what we're going to do is, I've already pre-recorded a couple runs in World Boss. We're going to take on Cull Obsidian, we're going to take on Ebony. Against Cull, we're going to take on stage 50, which is really all the higher I ever go. And this is the team we're going to use. We're going to use Mantis for that 20% critical damage. We're going to use Shuri for the 35% decreased damage received from supervillains and the 45% increased damage to supervillains. And of course, we're going to use Enchantress for this insane Increase all debuff effect by 40%. Leadership. This thing is a self-buffing leadership for her. Not to mention, she's a great support for characters that have mind damage. She does offer 30% mind damage to all allies on top of the increase all debuff effect by 40% with this uniform. Without the uniform, the all debuff effect is by 25%, which is still very useful for characters like Deadpool, Doctor Strange, Star-Lord, characters like that, characters that have a lot of all defense down, Sabretooth, but 40% just is better. As far as strikers for both of the runs, we're just going to use Anti-Venom. That's it. Just for a little extra heal. I know she has a hidden heal in her kit, but I like having a little extra something lying around because of Cull's bleed, because of the damage we can take, because even though she is super strong, she's still a pretty fragile character. She can die pretty easy, so you have to be careful even with her crowd control. When you're playing with a proc, you do have to... There will be moments where you won't have crowd control. Now, if you're playing with a Rage, or you're playing with a CTB of Judgment, or you're playing with a CTB of Authority, if you're playing with an Obelisk that doesn't require timing, well, then you can keep crowd control up the entire time. So, I mean, if you just want to make her pretty good for World Boss, I mean, she's going to do 50 plus in Cull, and she's going to do 50 plus in Ebony without any kind of proc. You can put a CTB of Authority, and she's going to do it. So, yeah. So that's something to keep in mind. If she has something like that on her, you will be able to crowd control them the whole entire time, and that could be pretty useful against a character like Ebony. Now, Ebony, we're going to take on stage 70. Yeah, stage 70, same team, one support. Just this extra critical damage from Mantis. With 120% proc, level 60, normal uni, and we're just going to use Anti-Venom again. No other strikers. Just her, guys. Yeah. So let's get into the action and let's rock and roll. So for the first run, we're going to take on Cull here. And it's just easy peasy with her. It really is. So all I do is I hit the 5, get that 40% attack buff. And then I'll go straight into the 3. Let these little orbs come out. And then I'll hit the 4. And then I just kind of move around to make sure we don't get guard broken by Pokey. There we go. And really what you could do is you could hit the 5, cancel into the 2, go ahead and get that charm. Then hit the 3, then hit the 4. That would probably actually be better than what I'm doing because you get that little extra crowd control. But man, look the damage that this girl has with this build, with this team. No striker. Anti-Venom isn't going to do jack as a striker as far as damage against Ebony or Cull. He's not going to do anything. It's all Enchantress. And this was so easy that I did this on my first run, and the run against Ebony is the same thing. One run. One time. So yeah, I mean, just she's insane, you know. Oh my god. I mean, I gotta tell you all, I'm loving Enchantress. I'm having a lot of fun playing her. I think she's absolutely amazing. I mean, it's hard not to like a character this strong. And I love Enchantress from the comics as well. She's waifu for life, man. She's major waifu. I love her. So I'm super happy to see that she got this. It's just a shame that it happened in this patch. It really is. You know, I hate it when Netmarble does some bullcrap, negative crap, right? The player base morale goes down. And then when they get something good like this, well, some of us get this. It's just like, yeah, you know, that's kind of how you feel. But I'm still happy to have her. You know, my only thing is I just really wish that all the players could have gotten her. I really do. You know, when I play with this character, I'm just like, man, she's so strong. I wish that I could talk with everybody, like all the free-to-plays, everybody about this uniform. But unfortunately, you know, the free-to-plays just won't be able to get her. So it is what it is. And this is something that's nice about her as well. You know, you hit the charm, you pull Cull out of that phase, don't have to worry about taking any damage, and boom. And you see I'm throwing in that charm. I'm kind of going back and forth. Sometimes I'll throw in the charm before the 5. Sometimes I'll throw it after. It depends on where the proc is. My main concern is trying to keep Cull locked down and trying to keep the proc on the 4th skill. So if you can swing that 2nd skill in there whenever, that's always a good idea. And the 2nd skill doesn't really set off the proc. So you could do like 5, cancel into the 2, get the charm, then go into the 3, let the little orb show up, then go into the 4. Move around a little bit, then go into the 5, then go back into the 2, then the 3, 4. You could probably do that. I mean, look at her go, man. I mean, this is with a 120% proc. We don't even have 2 supports. She would do even more damage if we were using Ghost Panther or if we were using Valkyrie. There's no CTPs of Insight or nothing here. Look at her. 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Well, actually a little over 3 minutes, but still. About 3-minute clear against stage 50 Cull. No strikers. Anti-venom doesn't count. I mean, it's just insane how strong she is. Good Lord. So let's go on to the Ebony run. So just like Cull, I did this in 1 try, which is insane. So let's do it to it. We're going to do the same thing that we did before. And this is why I say you don't need immunity guard break. You're going to see in a second. We're going to hit the 5, cancel the 3, and we did get guard broken, but who cares? We just want those orbs to show up, and then we go into the 4. No big deal. I mean, you don't have to worry about it. And this is why I say you really should. I should have hit the 5, and then the 2, and then the 3, 4, and then by the time that 4 finished, the 2 would be almost ready to use the charm again. There we go. And that's going to be the benefit of not having a proc. You know, when you're playing with a proc, you're trying to keep the proc lined up with a specific skill. But when you're not, you can just keep that crowd control. You can just keep spamming that second skill over and over and over. The 5 and the second skill over and over and over. I'm sorry, the 5 or the 4 and the 2 over and over and over. And just, yeah. I mean, she's, oh my God. I'm loving her. I'm loving her. I'm loving her. She is amazing. And it does do my heart good to see Enchantress be this strong. It really does. She deserves to be this strong. I'm happy to see it. You know, but the truth is, at this point in the game, you know, maybe something will happen in the future. Maybe something will change where we'll need her. But the truth is, right now, nobody really needs her. This is just a nice, very, very shiny toy on the shelf is what this is. A very beautiful toy that's on the shelf that I'm happy to have on the shelf that I'm actually going to play. So she's actually not going to be on the shelf. But you know what I mean. You know, she's an expensive little toy. But she is a fun one, and she is very, very strong. Hopefully one of these days, Netmarble will give everybody the option to be able to get, you know, uniforms like this for crystals. Hopefully one day they'll be able to do that kind of stuff. It's really what they should do to begin with. There you saw I hit the charm before I hit the 3rd skill, then the 4. Stage 70, man. Stage 70. And she's got great movement speed. She moves around really fast, which is really nice for avoiding the meteors coming at you there or the purple. Come on, girl. Taking a little damage, taking a little damage. That's alright, that's alright. We got a little charm. Our rotation's got a little off, but we got the proc back on the 4 now, so I think we're alright. And this is really, I think the thing about not having a proc, it would just be a lot easier to play her against bosses that need to be crowd controlled like Ebony, because they really are annoying with all the freaking iframing around. So actually, I might end up changing this obelisk and just slapping on something else. I might just slap an invincibility obelisk on her or a CTP of authority on her, because I don't use those things for anything, and just use that because she's mainly just going to be a PvE character and I don't want to have to worry about a proc. So that might be what I do. If any of you want to see what she can do with a rage, let me know. I do have one in the inventory. I'd be happy to slap it on her. I know she's going to be absolutely bonko with that thing, because look at what she's doing right now. She is honestly, my eyes I think are deceiving me right now, because I'm seeing a level 60 character with a weak team up right now with no strikers doing stage 70 with 120% proc with a normal ranked uni, not even fully uru'd up. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty freaking crazy. Wow, 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 wow. Get him, girl, get him. Now it's taking the full fight, but still, with this team up, no strikers is pretty nuts. 45 seconds to spare, not too shabby for Enchantress. So again, hopefully one of these days, the net marble will actually stop being a bunch of greedy buttheads and start, you know, giving some options for all the players to be able to get these uniforms. So let me know how you're feeling about Enchantress, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one.